Married at First Sight, Season 16, Where Are They Now? It's over! The season is kidding. It started on January 4th, 2023. But I feel like I just got out of a toxic friendship where my friend was in a bad relationship and draining my inner soul with their toxic boyfriend stories. Took none of my advice, and in the end, the guy broke up with her anyway, projectiling her right back where she started 7 months ago. I mean, since this season started, Keisha Knight Pulliam had a baby and put her through college. Just kidding about the college part. I really do like the concept of this show, but it went sideways this season. Quickly go over some highlights from this episode, then never speak of this season for quite some time. Okay? So this wasn't really a true Where Are They Now? It was more of a singles retreat featuring the current cast. Singles retreat with the exception of Pepper, Cal, and Chris, of course. They had Kirsten say that this gathering was her idea in order to celebrate Shaq and Orgy's birthday. I don't know why they made her come up with that story rather than just tell the truth and say they were brought together one last time to drag out this endless season. So, what do we learn? Everybody is in a relationship except for Orgy, Mac, Kirsten, and Shaq. I don't think this list is surprising though. We know Orgy was going through street withdrawals all season. I wouldn't be surprised if this experience turned him off to marriage completely. Or at the very least, maybe next time he'll take his braless cousin's advice when she warns him against getting married. Max says he's looking for someone who appreciates his corny jokes, is more of a homebody, likes his sarcasm, and has big boobs. In other words, Dom and her boobs had a 1 out of 4 of his requirements. Kirsten and Shaq seem to be the only couple who need to recover from their breakup, even though Shaq is back on the dating train. Kirsten had more feelings for Shaq than we were shown. I think she had a little crush on him. What else did we learn? Dom got a new job and she met her boyfriend at a club. Her friend helped them meet. He's a year younger than her. Dom is the only one who didn't sign herself up for this experiment. Her mom threw her into this mess. She's probably decided to wait a little longer and continue to enjoy her youth before she says yes to getting married again. Gina and Mac didn't have their second date before she started dating a guy she's known for 10 years. Hello, 10 years? Talk about taking it slow. Ask the sister out already. We learned Dom and Peppa Cal have been getting a lot of mean DMs on social media. One thing I think people forget about Mavs is that they don't show us everything and sometimes intentionally leave pieces of the puzzle out to make the storylines more tantalizing. So even though it's fun to watch and comment about what we do see, before we go directly to one of them and start talking crazy, it's important to have in the back of our minds that there are far more hours of footage that we never saw compared to what we did see that could have possibly given us a completely different perspective. Anyway, moving on to what we learned in this episode that should have only been 30 minutes, by the way. So Chuck is in love with his girlfriend. Nice to know that Chuck and his goofy self are happy. Jasmine and her boyfriend don't talk about the show, and he hasn't watched it. He probably started to watch it, but it was so boring that he decided to settle for her Cliff Notes, and I don't blame him. Pepper Cow is working for Gina as a marketing manager or marketing executive. She's working in exchange for services, so Gina's doing her hair for free, and Pepper Cow was holding her to it. Every time they were getting ready, there Gina was, doing Pepper Cow's hair. Pay your debt in hair, Gina. And Dom had a moment where she low-key went off on all the ladies. She was upset with them for getting together without her and for changing their plans to times when she is not available. I think that's a side effect of opting for divorce 12 days in. She missed out on a lot of the bonding sessions the other ladies had. If this were a movie, Dom was the one who quit the girl group before the first hit dropped, but then came back years later for the reunion tour. So all of the other ladies were rich and famous, while Dom was stuck singing cover songs in deserted shopping malls. So she's not really a part of the group, but they give her credit for being there on day one. That was the vibe I was getting from that exchange with Dom against the other ladies. As for the activities that they did during this little retreat, when there were enough people available to participate, it seemed like the majority of them had other things to do, so they kept coming and going throughout those few days. Anyway, the ladies had a sound bath, which is great for them, but boring for viewers. Watching a group of women sit down with their eyes closed is up there with watching paint dry. Like, seriously, I have better things to do, Lifetime. As much as I love to edit, why did they keep that part in? The guys played pool. Just about everyone took turns cooking. they played Bear Can Olympics, and I've never heard of this game. Chuck described it as the goal is to get drunk and then run around and make a fool of yourself. So this is what they had to do. They had to down a beer, turn around in circles 10 times while holding a plastic baseball bat to their forehead, get across the slip and slide, run around some chairs, knock a cup off a stick. Then as a team, I think they had to drink and then flip some cups or something. Honestly, I think this episode would have been better if they ended the season like they started, by having the experts visit them at their homes, like chat with them, and maybe even have some of their friends and families discuss what has changed about that cast member. Now, I would be interested to know their friends' perspectives on what went down during the season versus what we saw, because like I said, there's more to their stories that we will never get to see or hear about. Or another thing they can do is give us a tour of the apartments for the people that moved since the show started. We know at least Jasmine, Shaq, Chuck, Peppercal, and Chris are living in different places than the experts toured at the beginning of the season. Give us a few before and afters. Or what I would really like to see is if they gave each of them a camera and allow them to make their own recordings of what their lives are like now. Like things they can't show us with a full-on camera crew barging in. Kind of like a couples cam, but in this case it would be more like a singles cam. There are so many things they could have done to save this never-ending marathon of a season and make it much more interesting. But in any case, we made it. It's over. I can't wait to talk about something else. In the meantime, thank you for hanging in there with me. I couldn't have lasted this long without you, and that's no joke. If it wasn't for your support of my channel, I wouldn't have continued to cover all 7,689 episodes this season. In the meantime, I'm not going anywhere. Please keep peeking in on me. I'm going to keep making videos regardless of when the new season begins. So as for season 16, it's a wrap. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in my next video.